office cleaning. We're not gonna make a decision on that though, on the office cleaning tonight.
Do we want to talk about it? Probably.
Let's do it next
No.
week. I looked at them. We need to have a workshop.
Do you want to just workshop?
What's that?
The cleaning discussion thing is, you know, we need to look at all of them, let's talk about it next week.
There isn't much there. I mean,
Do you want me to make a decision tonight or anything on what we're gonna do? I don't know. I wouldn't. I just need to look at them better.
We can
Okay.
mention it and then
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
you guys feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I guess so. All right, are we on?
It's quite a variety.
We're on.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to the February 3rd, 2025 Select Board meeting for the town of Parsonsfield. Everybody survived Groundhog Day, I hope, and survived the outcome of that. I'm trying to ignore it at this point. All right, so our agenda. First thing on the agenda is the town clerk report.
Okay. Let's see, I just wanted to start off, tomorrow, the 2022 real estate tax foreclosures, the 30-day notices for those taxes, will go out tomorrow. We did send 45-day reminders. A few accounts did get paid after that. But we do have a list of 15 accounts that still owe 2022 taxes at this point. I did send to the select board a PDF of the list that we're dealing with. So those will go out tomorrow, and automatic foreclosure on these will be scheduled for March 6th. I did want to thank everybody that provided us with plowing information. It's been extremely helpful. I might not have gotten back to everybody, but just wanted to say thank you very much. We got a lot of good feedback after this last storm, and it looks like we're going to get a few other storms moving forward on Thursday and Sunday. Please feel free to provide information via TextMyGov, shoot us an email, or shoot us a Facebook message. We just want to know how things are going out there. We would love to see the compliments, and if there's any concerns, we would love to hear about it. You can send pictures, videos, whatever you are comfortable with, or just a short comment is great. The purpose of this is we are putting all the information together on a spreadsheet for the select board per storm. So that will all get put together and provided. I haven't gotten caught up from this last storm, but I'll provide it for your meeting on Monday.
Okay.
But thank you very much for everybody who's participated. I just wanted to recap, we did have a road budget discussion, a really good road budget discussion with Maya today during the workshop, and discussing everything moving forward. What the plan is every time that he does bill out his equipment and payroll, we will go ahead and send him an updated budget just so he keeps being informed on how much money he's got left, to hopefully avoid going over budget if it's just standard stuff.
Excellent.
I did want to talk about office cleaning. I wanted to do this during the workshop, but we kind of ran out of time. We had some concerns about the office cleaning, current office cleaning going on, and we were a little concerned that it may be too expensive for what we're getting for services. So we went ahead and reached out to some local cleaners around the area. I did provide that information in a spreadsheet and email to the board. If you want to take a look and table it or discuss it now, whatever you prefer, but that's basically what we got for information. We do have a couple cleaners that are very professional and are cheaper for the amount of cleaning that's being currently done. So in the long run, it is cheaper, and we feel that it may be done a little more professionally. But if you want to take a look at it, I do have information. I have proposals, some references. The cleaners came in very well prepared. These are all commercial cleaners, so I have all their background information in the office. So.
All right, well, I think we should probably talk about that in the workshop.
Yeah,
then.
absolutely.
We can do that.
Yep.
Hopefully, well, I don't know, we're going to get overloaded again. We'll try for next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we used to have 2-hour workshops.
it was Aaron's time that wasn't necessarily available.
But we can condense.
I mean, you have all the information.
Yes,
And you guys can
exactly.
look at it at your leisure,
Yeah.
and maybe we can talk a little bit about it next
Yep.
week.
Yeah.
The tax collection updates are there, balance on the reserve account and checking account. We got a really good deposit back from FEMA and NEMA, that I think is on your agenda for later on.
Yeah, just,
But other than that, foreclosure notices are going out tomorrow, and then catch-up time. Taxes are out, so we're in good shape.
Excellent. Okay, anything for Danielle?
oh, good.
All right, back to my agenda. Okay, everybody has been through the agenda and is okay with it? All right. Let's see, do we have? Yeah, the only thing I'm going to say is that we do have a second appointment for the planning board that we will be signing tonight. So, 2020, the January 27th minutes. Have people been through those? Did I forward those?
No.
I don't believe I
Oh,
received
You
them.
guys, gotta get me early. Sorry about that. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. It's this one and this one. All right, it's coming your way. Meantime, I can be going through this. Whoa. Looking at salt purchases. You're shaking your head like, or nodding your head like you knew. Wow.
No tonnage is listed.
What's the comparison to north and south? Are they broken down? Or is
I
this
can
just north?
Run a report on
Yeah.
account, just
Okay,
different
you
counts,
could,
but
yeah.
you can see right there,
Okay.
that's a good indication.
Yeah, well, we will be talking with Loud Contract. If we could get that before next Monday, that would be
Comparison?
great. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
We had FEMA's amount last week that they closed us out with, so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, good. So that
Okay, are you folks okay with
Yes.
minutes from last week? Okay. And bills to be paid, Jen, what's the total on there?
29,431.71.
Okay, so a relatively small warrant this week. Obviously, none of our contracts or school budget payments on that one.
Biggest one was the salt,
Yeah, yeah, if you see that.
and you can see where it went.
Yeah. Okay, at this point, we don't have any ads. We did get a December report from the code enforcement officer. He's gonna revamp it a little and we'll get a copy to you,
Great.
all right?
You can see it doing this?
Yeah, don't post it that way though, because
Okay.
there's just some extra stuff on there that we
Okay.
take out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Basically, 1 building permit and 3 plumbing permits in December. We're at the quiet time of the year. Totals for last year, there were 72 total permits, total building permits. Dwellings, these are new dwellings, 21. Garages, 15. I'm just giving the higher numbers. 11 sheds, and then a bunch of smaller numbers for things. So, all right. Okay, discussion items. Plowing workshop scheduled for today. We postponed until next Monday because of the 2 recent storms and the 2 upcoming storms. You know, we need to meet with our plow contractors, but we don't need to tie them up when they're busy. So we may have some more to say about that next week. Our 1954 lot purchase, this is the gentleman the couple who came in and wanted to purchase a portion of our 1954, which they own. Their surveyor has said that the town owns a corner of this lot. Well, we cannot find any evidence of that. And so my initial idea was to just give a quitclaim deed over to them, but unfortunately, because of new rules regarding transferring property that's been foreclosed on, or potentially foreclosed on, it would be a big time and financial investment, and we just don't have that. So we're going to let these landowners know that in our eyes they own it, and we're not going any further with that. Okay, our furnace. We had another failure last week of our burner. So I've contacted J.P. Carroll, and I said, we need something, temporary or otherwise. Because if we don't get something, they're going to throw me out, and they're going to throw you out. I don't want either of those. So I've asked them, I gave them a couple of possibilities. One would be a new burner. One would be if they had a used burner that would be usable. So I'm waiting for a call back on that, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, we're also going to start soliciting quotes for a new boiler. And I put together my thoughts, kind of an RFQ, and that's gone to a couple of people, and we'll distribute that more extensively. I was hoping to get some feedback from people about what else could go on there, how things could be worded, but I haven't gotten anything back, so we'll just go with what it is. Okay, cannabis application. I'm going to let Jen speak to this just because my voice is starting to go already, and we're only halfway through.
Yeah, we had an applicant come in, Chris Godomsky. He submitted his application. We, as a select board, have been working on a checklist and what we need to have before we find anything complete. It also involves being complete by Danielle, because that's what the ordinance says. Something that we'll probably have amended at some point. So in going through what Chris submitted, and he did bring in some of the information that we requested already. It's quite a lot. It's huge. You know, it has everything that you can think of according to the ordinance. The only thing that we're missing is a letter from the planning board stating that he has a conditional use permit. We have a change of use, but not conditional use, and I think he's frustrated by it, and we have everything we need, but we do need that piece of paper that says planning board has given him a conditional use permit. We also will need his business insurance when that happens, and maybe just a verbal okay from OCP saying that he has also requested that address as another medical cannabis facility, which we don't have. That's probably something.
He did say that he thought that would be after the fact, I thought.
He did, and he also said that insurance for his business would be after the fact also. But according to Office of Cannabis Policy, he could be requesting that address now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where we are. This is a new process for us, and we will be workshopping our checklist next week with hopefully your input,
Sure.
okay? And maybe we can come up with, some items to include and not include and how to best streamline it for everybody, so, yeah.
Good.
Patience is appreciated on both sides, and we're doing the best we can.
Right. Okay, let's see.
Assessing agent was before that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the assessing agent. So we got an updated proposal from Bob Consul, and I can't remember the name of this company. It's AV.
AVS.
Atlantic Valuation Services.
Thank you. Okay. That, first of all, highlights the fact that he's going to do personal property, at least to the best of his ability, which means he would contact all known businesses and, known meaning he gets input from us, starting with what we have, any businesses that we know about. I mean, he can't do much more than that. So that will get us a darn sight closer to what it should be than what it is right now. Let's see, he apologized that he did have to raise the annual fee. That went up it went up about 5% from 21 something to 23. However, the full revaluation did not go up. It's 178,000. Big chunks, but we need to do it. Yes, Debbie?
Does that include mapping?
No, does not.
So what will we do with the mapping?
We are working on that. We
Okay.
don't know right now.
Okay.
There are digital mapping companies that we can engage. I don't know, Jen and I were talking though about the possibility of keeping the costs down, because this is going to be a big chunk, and maybe waiting a year or two before going to that. But we would then need someone to update the maps. So we're
Who
still,
O'Donnell's uses.
pardon me?
I wonder who O'Donnell's uses. in
Should
there.
say on there.
O'Donnell does their own.
Yeah, they do their own, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, if we decide to go with this company, they have, Bob has a good relationship with O'Donnell's and with John O'Donnell, and he's had conversations with him. And they've worked it out so that O'Donnell will cover up through the state-required submission after our commitment. And they've worked out a deal with with our budget money as well, so that O'Donnell will get a portion of it, and then Bob and his company will get a portion after that. And the process that Bob is talking about is some basic equalization in the first year that they work on things, and that would be, let's see, I'm getting my year, that would be for the
26.
25/6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be April 26.
April 26, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So for the 26 taxes, and then completing the full revaluation, visiting every property for the following year. So I'm comfortable with everything he's saying. And I'm ready to sign the bottom line with him, if you folks are.
What I like about it is that he's going to set up an office in the town hall
Yeah.
for people to come in, and if they have questions, if there's abatement issues, he's ready and willing to answer everything and be there. I don't know how often, probably once a month.
He suggested once a month.
He did?
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion that we accept AVS's updated proposal for assessing and valuation services.
Second.
All right, any further discussion on that? Nope. All right, all in favor? Very good, that was unanimous. Thank you, and welcome aboard, Bob. We'll be getting you that signed proposal. Actually, did you get that proposal, Debbie?
I think Do you want to print it out?
Yeah.
I can find
You
it
want
if
to
you
do
want,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And we can sign that tonight, forward that to him. Okay. We talked about the furnace.
Planning board.
Planning board, there we go. Okay, we have 2 appointments. Well, we have 1 appointment for the planning board and a second one that we need to talk about and possibly vote on. Harvey Maycomer, we appointed last week, and we have his appointment papers. And John Pepin was in today. He understands that the position is one of the alternate planning board positions and is interested in it. Jen and I spoke with him for a while, and he sounds like someone who's involved and interested, or wants to be involved more. He's a plumber. He said occasionally there may be some conflicts that he would have to be careful of, but he said probably not that often. So I'd be willing to appoint him as an alternate member. And what I also suggested was that he can, as an alternate, he can kind of watch things and see how much conflict there might be. My guess is it won't be often, except for the one that he said is coming up, that he is involved in.
Right. Some of these are in West Pond,
Right.
working with contractors that, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Said there's basically one contractor that he works with.
Yeah, and having that sort of level of expertise on the board is certainly helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we benefited from having, engineering people on there historically, and so having people with trade backgrounds is certainly beneficial.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
So I'd make a motion to appoint John Pepin as alternate planning board member.
I'll second that.
Very good. All in favor? And that's unanimous. Very good. And we have his appointment sheet right here that I'm signing right now. Okay. There are those two.
Okay,
And did you print out the,
coming now.
oh, okay.
I just
Sorry.
switch from one printer to another, so.
Ah, okay.
I just want to make sure it's printed on both sides. Let's do that.
There it goes. Okay, FEMA funds. I think we probably mentioned last week that we were going to get finally reimbursement from FEMA for which storm?
December of 2022.
FEMA's been busy.
It's closed out.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little dot on their map.
Yeah.
And they've got things like, Florida and North Carolina and Hawaii and now Southern California to deal with. But Jen put a ton of time into this, and with Debbie's help.
Definitely Debbie's help, and
Yeah.
Maya's help.
Yeah, and Maya's.
Right.
So, let's see, we need to further discuss now, I guess, where these funds are going. 164,000
Was what we,
is what was overspent
Mhm.
because of this, and that will go into our
The
general fund.
two,
is there more?
yeah.
Okay.
The remainder was spent out of the road budget. So I guess ultimately the feeling is it should end up in the road reserve. Is that correct?
Can money for paving be taken out of road reserve? No?
Road reserves, I'd have to look at how the road reserve account was established.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think the road reserve was to take anything left over in road account, not paving and sealing,
Okay,
and roll it over so it was available in
All
future
three
years.
accounts roll over.
All three? Now they roll over into that reserve account?
Yes. If there's monies,
And, yeah, and is there a distinction within that
I
account?
don't think so. It was
Yeah, I
just listed the accounts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, Jen, to answer your question, as far as I know, they probably could be used.
That would be excellent, I think.
We'll have to look at the balances.
Yeah.
To confirm
Oh, okay,
that.
just leave it there.
Okay, the balances,
As far as the road reserve balance and when those rollovers took place
yeah,
into the reserve and make sure that was done.
okay. Okay, yeah, I'm not worried about the balances initially.
Well-
We're,
If, I'd like to see the paving and sealing balance that has been deposited into the road reserve.
uh-huh, yeah,
So, I don't know, I haven't seen that yet.
yeah, yeah, haven't either, but good point. Okay, we're backing up a couple of steps. This is a proposal from Atlantic Valuation Service for our revaluation and then future annual assessment. And that's, I don't know where I'm supposed to sign here, I guess over here. And I'm gonna date it. 3D25. Okay. Here's that.
So those funds were expended from the road account.
The over expenditure?
That, no, initially. these
All the
were
money?
The money was expended
Absolutely,
from the road account.
Yes.
Up to the limit.
And so this is a reimbursement of that expense. So had that expense not happened, that money would have rolled into the reserve.
Yeah, if it was still there.
If it was still
right.
there.
Yeah.
Maybe we would have
Right.
done something else
Yeah.
with it, but.
So it stands to make sense that it would flow into the reserve to replenish the expense that was made.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. And we go through this every time we
Right.
get a reimbursement.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to-
Yeah, it's usually not, quarter of $1,000,000.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, so what's the total that would go into the reserve then? Do you have that, Jen? It was 89,000, is that right? Seems to me. That's okay.
Makes sense, yeah, 259 minus 164, so yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
and that doesn't include the money that we're getting from, that's Bob Consul's number. That doesn't include the money we're getting for the April 4th storm, which is about 89,000.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
so that would go.
And what about MEMA? Is there anything from MEMA or is?
Yes,
strict- Oh, there
the
is.
259 included both.
Oh, it did?
Yes,
Okay,
yep,
okay.
yep.
You wanna see this breakdown, David?
Well, I
We
think I
did
got
get
the
that,
email.
yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
yeah, I did. I saw
Yeah.
FEMA,
Yeah.
FEMA.
There's a state
FEMA.
share,
FEMA. There's a what?
state shares, this federal and state.
The thing about
Okay,
the
Main
April 4th
State's
storm
federal,
is that the
okay.
funds are obligated, but
Okay.
we haven't received them yet.
Thank you, Danielle.
Okay,
Yeah, we have not received.
and that's for the
them yet.
April,
April
yeah.
4th, right.
Okay, very good. Personal property. I asked that this go on here just because we have not been good about keeping up with personal property. And we've had a request from somebody who gets personal property tax bill for backup for what it is he's being taxed for. That valid request. We as a board need to make sure that personal property is better taken care of. Our new, just engaged assessing company will do personal property updates, okay? Whereas what folks that we had did not do that. So in the meantime, I guess we'll need to organize our files because they need to start with what we have. We can do that. All right. Then Levitt Plantation. We had a visit this morning from some folks from a company who appears that they may be purchasing the plantation properties. They're based, the corporate headquarters is actually in Copenhagen. Copenhagen.
Yeah, he did have a nice accent.
Yeah. So actually, somebody from Copenhagen was here. We had a gentleman from Asheville, North Carolina, who is, I believe, the head of the U.S. operation. And then another gentleman who is kind of the head of the Northeast operation. And they really just wanted to touch base. We had some good conversations. We said what we would really like is a little better communication. You know, when you're going to do some cutting, let us know. You know, even though they let the stakeholder know, which is technically the people that own the easement, but we are part of that and should be part of that. And so, you know, when somebody calls and says, well, they're cutting next to my property, how come? Or they're cutting the plantation down. I said, well, maybe not quite the plantation. They
Yeah.
may be cutting a little bit of it. And it may look like they're cutting the whole thing, but we should have that information. If these, well, actually, I'm hoping Dave DiGrotola, who manages right now for the existing company, EMC, I'm hoping that he'll be a little more forthcoming with some communication regardless. Of course, Dave and his folks, Landvest, don't know whether they'll be engaged by the new company if the new company does buy it. He's hoping they will.
Right.
So, anyways, good conversation. We left the communication lines open, both directions. You know, be interesting to see what happens there. I will say they did go into the harvesting a little bit, and they said there's a lot of storm damage that they will need to clean up because the lumber loses value the longer it's down. So they will be doing that, and they thought they might be doing a little more harvesting than what has happened in the past. Still well within the tree growth and state limits. So they are in touch with the state forestry department, and I don't know. They gave me a pretty good feeling about things. I don't know, you want to add anything to that?
I think it was great when we talked about how it looked like it was being clear cut down Chase and Middle Road. Like, people were just up in arms about the fact that trees are just gone on both sides of the
Right.
road. And he was very, you know, stuff that we wish we had known when they were doing it,
Right.
that they went through all kinds of environmental and state and federal agencies to okay what they were doing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if we had known that at the time, it probably would have been easier to, you know,
Yeah.
for people to hear and understand, you know, why
Yeah.
they cleared so much, but, yeah. Yeah, they did say that they would be sustainably cutting, not double what they've done, but
No, but he said a little more.
a little more,
Yeah,
so.
after the storm cleanup. The
Right.
storm cleanup, he said, is pretty extensive anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so. Yeah, they were a great group, with quite a few of them in here, from Alabama, New York,
Yep,
one guy from Portland,
that's right, yeah.
and Mr. Copenhagen.
All right, move on to updates. Jen?
Wow. We've given Tom Winter the okay to remove the lockers that are in the town hall, and we'll be looking for bids perhaps for somebody that wants to purchase them. He did send us something saying that the health center does not want them. I know Saban does not want them, but maybe we talked about putting them on Facebook and town website, I think, and getting an ad together, right?
Yeah,
So that's good. And he was here today.
yeah. I was hoping to get to that ad today, but
Yeah.
didn't happen.
I was busy, we were busy. We discussed Jim Paulette's request for a letter of support from the town for the Shredway. That's would help Saco River make a determination to take him out of limited residential and put it into commercial, just the very corner of his racetrack that was in the Saco River corridors limited residential area. So we discussed, you know, what was there, what would happen. We also have heard from them that if we ever wanted to put it back into limited residential, that we could do that as a town, if the property would be sold or change of use or something. So we have no objection. I think we'll find out from Sherry for sure,
Right.
and then go from there.
Mm-hmm,
So just wanted to mention that in case he's listening.
right.
And I think, let me just quickly look at my notes. I think that's all I have for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Yeah, just two items dropped off the box for Troop 1657, the Girl Scouts, for Harvest Hills Animal Shelter drive that they're doing. I'll work with you to get a list of all, because I'm sure if she printed off that list, she's got a copy of that, so we can get that posted of what sort of items we're able to add to that.
Oh,
Certain,
yeah.
yeah, because
That'd be great.
That would
it's
be
like
awesome.
cat food, but it's only the pate style. It's certain types of dog food, so I think there's probably just a universal diet when they get there
Yeah.
that they can have. So that's kind of why they probably do it that way, which makes sense.
Is it just food?
It's food, blankets, cleaning supplies, litter,
Leashes,
cat
collars,
litter.
harnesses?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, a lot of that stuff is on
Okay.
there. And so, yeah, I'll get the full list though over to you so we can get something posted on socials and website. Speaking of website, that's my other item. So a couple of big updates. One, we got the initial draft design over, sort of went through the choices. I know Jen helped me with some, Danielle was very helpful, kind of went through and kind of picked, do you want buttons or a bar, do you want this type of look, I mean, there were so many different choices that we went through.
I don't know
Do you
about
want,
choices.
the front, do you want just your logo, just your name, or do you want both, and all these things. So we just kind of went through and made the choices. We get 6 versions
Right.
to update before we have to deal with whatever the last one is the one we get. So, we may not necessarily get it right. One of the pieces that they did ask for, though, is a high definition background picture. So some of the ones I've shown you, they have that one big picture in the background.
Yep.
We were looking at sort of the ones that we've received, and we didn't have any pictures that met the size requirements.
Oh, wow.
So did some quick searching, found a really cool photo of the covered bridge
Oh,
that met the size requirements. So that's sort of the initial picture. It's one, they said you can change the picture every day. You can have it so that if you land on a different page, the picture changes. So we did want to kind of get some updated pictures. So we're going to put out some of the criteria. It's high resolution photo, the size requirements. It's 1900 pixels by 960 pixels for height and width. And then they said to do landscape, buildings, or aerial photos. Nothing focused on like an individual person or object, but that kind of criteria is what they look for. So we're going to put something out to try to get pictures that people already have, inspire people to go take new pictures, that we can then use those for our website. And then Danielle and I think that was last week, we met with the project manager, the other person. So there's 2 kind of streams working right now. There's the design side and then the content side. And so the project manager, we met with her. They've created a test environment. They're going to start pulling over the content
wow.
from our current website, getting it all loaded. Once we've agreed to a design, that design will get put onto the test website. Once that's done, we'll be able to kind of share amongst us the link. It's not a publicly searchable link. It's only available if you are given the link. But we'll be able to kind of see kind of what our website's going to look like. And the goal is to have a go live in April of this year.
Wow.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah.
They, didn't have any problems. She said, obviously, if we can get the design aspect, she said the design aspect is the part that usually people get hung up on because, making little changes here or there. A lot of it you can change afterwards. And then they do full trainings. They have everything from live trainings where they have an instructor-led weekly training that they just have a standing training that they do to you can learn just specific parts. You can learn, if you just have somebody that is going to be doing all the agendas, they have a training specific to uploading agendas or adding events. So if you forget how to do something, they have little online 5-minute, reminder classes of how to do those processes.
Good.
And so it's super helpful. Yeah,
I'm going to be needing it.
and it's going to be good. And so I've been working on getting our website updated with some of the things that we don't have that we would like to have. So adding like the assessing page that Bob calls out, adding that page, and putting some content in there. After our conversation with him, I went over to the Cape Elizabeth website, and it's it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a ton of information on there. I stole a few pieces and blurbs, and we can obviously update the content later. And the good part about this website is we can actually give them access to it, and they can update their assessing page, and then not be able to update other parts of the.
Right.
And so,
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
you know,
Yep.
I think that we'll figure out as we go forward. That's kind of going to be the way to do this. Is, you know, planning board will be in charge of planning board subsite, and kind of work with those subsites, and it'll be a little bit easier to manage that way for everybody.
Yeah, no, yeah, yes.
But yeah, so
Yep.
we should have that initial design back. He said 5 business days, and that was Friday. So we should have it this week.
Excellent.
So we'll meet next week, go over it. I'll share it with you and take a look and see what we like, what we don't like.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's amazing.
Love it.
Lots of work.
Yes. Also, so if you think of any subsites that we don't have today
Okay.
that you would like to see on the new website,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
even if it's, so a couple I've put on there are just like, say, I think, elections. You wanted me to add an election subsite. So I added that, it just says under construction, but just to have it on there so that they create it,
Right.
rather than have us worry about creating subsites.
Okay.
I mean, we can obviously do it, but it'd be easier if we're just updating a site instead of creating one.
What
So-
about community activities? Would there be a page that I could update for, say coffee hours canceled, or when the community cafe is, or it's more
Yeah,
like
so
a
you'll
calendar though.
have announcements on the front page.
Okay.
You'll have a calendar on the front page, and so the calendar will be dynamic. You can also click in and see the whole month. But anytime any one of us adds an event, you'll be able to put it there, and like the next 3 or 4 events will be right on the front page.
Okay.
So if you add, and so we'll obviously put in coffee hour, pickleball, things like that we have sort of ongoing. But if you pulled it up today, you'd see pickleball tomorrow, and you'd see planning board on Wednesday. And so you'd be able to see like what the next few events are.
Okay, yep, got it.
And you'd be able to also kind of jump into that month-long view. And so it updates, as long as you update the calendar, it'll update the front page.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Excellent.
yep.
Well, if they can add like a banner across or someone highlight, like just for instance, like I had to log in and we're gonna be opening late today
Yep.
at 10 a.m. Is that just a calendar update, or is there like
No.
a bulletin thing that we can add?
Yeah, so you'll be able to do it, so they'll do it one of 2 ways. If it's super important, you can actually have it be a landing page, so if they go to Parsons Field, like they go to the page, it'll pop up first, and you have to
Perfect.
click OK to get to the home page. To get that, you'll get that notice, or there's a banner across the top of the page, which will be in a different color.
Yeah.
So it'll stick out, you can have it there. Yeah, so you could run it across and just run it for today and say,
Just a temporary thing?
Yep.
Yep, excellent.
yep,
Nice.
opening at 10, and then go in when you get here and delete it. Yep.
Excellent. Sounds good. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, me too. It's happening a lot quicker than I thought. I think,
Yeah.
April was it felt aggressive, but it's a relatively large company, so I'm sure they can, throw a lot of bodies at it and
Yeah.
get everything kind of, and they've done so many of them, so they probably have certain ways of scraping data and getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Aaron had to give them kind of a kick to get them going, or at least
I did.
find out where the heck they were after we paid them the initial payment.
Yeah.
But, yeah, sounds like it's on the right path now.
Yeah, it all happened very fast after that
Yeah.
that kick in the pants email. So yeah, saying, hey, what's going on? And then all of a sudden I
Know how
had
that
calendar
feels.
invites and Zoom calls, and here we are. So yeah,
Yep.
no, I'm excited. It'll be good.
Good.
Yeah,
All
that was
right.
it.
Okay. One more thing, can I add?
Absolutely.
We've had a request from a resident to look at a video and to have a discussion about the Community Power Alliance. That maybe next week we can also kind of talk about. He said he would come in and talk to us about it. No big push, no rush. I know we're going to be busy next week with workshop items also, but just to have it in the back of our
Yeah.
minds
Yeah.
that we'll get to it.
I
Yeah.
don't have any idea what it is, so I
Okay.
don't know if you do. I mean,
Kind of, sort of, it's it's more like an electric power company thing that New Hampshire has bought into, I think, and, you know, that's all I can
Yeah,
tell you.
okay.
I might
We'll
be
have to
lying if
see.
I say anything
Yeah.
else, right?
Okay. We'll watch the video
Yep.
and find out. All right. Let's see. Consolidated. If you recall, last week we had a meeting with them online and said basically we need Cat 5 cables going to where all the phones are. You
Yeah.
probably can't see the ceiling behind Jen, but it's open. We have cables run to every location now, at least up in the ceiling. We need to bring them down the walls, and I need to put jacks on the end. So there are 11 different ones. Actually, Jesse brought up a point. We're going to have to talk to the alarm company about the alarm, because the alarm uses a phone line. And the only line that it may be able to use is the fax line,
Oh, wow.
which would probably be okay. I mean, right now it uses one of our primary lines if there's an alarm.
Uh-huh.
So we'll have to talk to them about that. But anyways, we have the cables run to their destinations up in the ceiling. At least we need to bring them down the walls. And then we're looking at phone system installation next Wednesday, the 14th, is that right? 15th, I guess. Oh, that's January. Never mind. How about February? How about the 12th? So we should go live with our new phone system. We will post information on the website, maybe starting Monday, just to let you know that we may have some glitches, and bear with us.
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah. Well, it is a much more involved system than we have right now.
Mhm.
And, you know,
Anything we're doing new is gonna bring a few glitches.
yeah, and frankly, Consolidated may have some issues too.
Right.
We'll see. All right, talked about that. Oh, Trio Web. We have a temporary website for Trio Web that I can forward you information
Okay.
about. Okay?
Yeah,
Log in, you can see what it looks like.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much is that again?
Pardon
Can you
me?
give me the amount again for what you signed? Trio Web.
I don't have it in
That's
front of
okay.
me.
I'll get it from you some other time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was my next point. Did we figure out where that money's coming from
I
last
don't
week?
think we did.
Yeah,
I emailed you some information where I think it can come out of. I just need to project what else we have to pay for between now
Okay.
and July 1st. But
Okay.
I think there's plenty of money that,
okay.
it was in my update,
Okay.
weekly update email.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I
Yep.
missed that. Yep,
Yep.
all right. So we'll look at that.
Yep.
It was a smaller amount than I expected, so that's good. We are going to have to extend our Trio services to include their full real estate package and their full personal property package, which I don't think is going to be anything more than a flip of the switch for Trio and some more money from us. I have not gotten a quote for that yet, but
Has Bob used that system? Is that,
mhm.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he mentioned that.
Yep. But we don't need that immediately. We need that when Bob starts. But we want to make sure it's in place and ready to go. And I think that's the end of my list. Yeah. Okay. If there's nothing else,
Make a motion to adjourn.
all right.
Second.
Very good. Thank you for joining us, folks. Meeting is adjourned.